Rome has to be one of the most visited places on Earth, and it makes me wonder why. Of course, it is beautiful, the culture, the food, the art, the people. But when it comes to Rome, there are a few things you should know before you visit. Number 1. The weather. I visited Italy and specifically Rome 2 times in 2023, once in March and once in September. The weather seemed to be very unreliable. At one moment it would be hot and my shorts would be too much for me to wear, and 10 minutes later it would start raining out of nowhere. In March, I accepted this since it is normal for it to be cold, but it completely surprised me in September. It was even colder than March. I would recommend, if you are visiting Italy sometime soon, to pack a sweater or a jacket just in case you need it. Number 2. The people. Surprisingly, no matter what time of the year you visit Rome, it will be crawling with people. It doesn't matter if it's even snowing. People from all around visit the romantic city called Rome, so if you are relying on the fact that probably nobody visits Rome in January, trust me, everyone does. The tickets are cheaper, people seem to think it will be less crowded in winter, which of course it somewhat will be. But keep in mind, you will never have the city for yourself. So if you hate people as much as I do, prepare yourself mentally. However, I must confess that people enjoying Rome with you is a unique experience. It didn't bother me as much as I thought it would, but it did annoy my family members during the trip. The tourists are somewhat nice since they are excited to be there, and of course, Italians are always lovely, but it is still worth mentioning. Number 3. The scams. Anyone who has traveled to crowded travel destinations will know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, watch out for scams. People will try to sell you bracelets by putting them on your wrist as a gift, then claiming you owe them money. They will draw with chalk on the ground, and if you accidentally step on it, they will try to charge you. They will try to sell you overpriced gifts and toys for your kids. They will try just about anything. So beware of scams, and most importantly, hold on to your money, passport, bag, all of it. Pickpocketing is very common in crowded cities, so make sure to check in on your belongings every now and then. Number 4. The food. I would advise that you make sure to have a few reservations before you visit. Rome is the city of food, but that doesn't mean that every place you enter will be delicious. I suggest trying things you have never tried before. After all, it's Rome. Be adventurous. And do not rely on TikTok as your restaurant guide. Check for the waiting times, ratings, reviews, and avoid eating next to the Colosseum unless you want to spend an entire paycheck. And just as a side note, TikTok tricked me into thinking that gelato must be stored in those metal containers for it to be good. I would like to debunk that theory. Since you have reached the end of the video, here are some extra words of wisdom. 1. Trevi Fountain is not less crowded at 6 a.m. thanks to TikTok. 2. The Pantheon is one of the most beautiful places I have seen in Rome. 3. Do not take the tour bus that shows you around the city. Walk instead, experience more. 4. Do not rent a car in Rome, you will never find a parking spot. And enjoy it, you are in Rome.